Good evening and welcome. I'm Vice Mayor Karen Alvord. I'll be leading the meeting tonight in our mayor's absence. And I would like to call this meeting to order and request the city clerk call roll.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We'll start with Vice Mayor Alvord.
Here.
Councilmember Haldeshell.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza is excused. Councilmember Rakucci. Here. And Mayor Bernasconi is also excused.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. We have some of our high schoolers, our seniors, here with us tonight. And I'm going to call Eric from Roseville High School up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good job, Eric.
All right, guys, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice that stands for all.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, I would also like to ask the city clerk to announce our meeting procedures.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the City of Roseville City Council meeting. Agendas are at the end of the staff table to your right or on our city's website. All comments from the public should be directed to our city council and not to any staff member or the public. For comments on non-agenda items, members of the public may address the city council regarding any item not listed on tonight's agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of our city council. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker with a total of 25 minutes for all speakers in the first segment. If the time limitation is reached in the first segment, individuals will have a second opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting just prior to council comments. The Brown Act does prohibit our city council from discussing, debating, or taking action on items not listed on tonight's agenda. For those items appearing on the agenda tonight, the Brown Act does allow the public to comment on all items listed, and speakers will have 5 minutes to provide input that is relevant to the item being considered tonight. Time will be monitored, and once the red light begins to blink at the podium, we request that the speaker please conclude their comments. The council does encourage the public's participation, and we request that you please be courteous during the meeting. Lastly, if addressing the city council tonight, please consider stating your name for the record. And once again, thank you for your presence and civic participation tonight. Welcome to the City of Roseville.
Thank you. So we're going to start out with a couple of presentations. So Jeff, if you and your team want to come up, I'll meet you down at the podium. So the council and I are excited to be able to do this presentation tonight. Up first is our 25th anniversary of the Galleria Mall. Living out on that side of town, I remember when it was a plot of land and a vision, and we all wondered how it would come together. And so seeing this 25 years later and seeing what's happened across America just in general with the challenges that malls face, and to see that you all and your team have just done an amazing job of continuing to attract great restaurants, great businesses into the mall, and it's just such an asset for our community. So thank you. So we're going to start with a resolution. I'm going to ask, I think, Bruce.
Yep, I'm going to start. Yeah. So I was driving around in July of 2000, and there was this board that said opening, right? Opening, I think it was August 20th. And I was an excited new father, so I thought that sign was referring to the pending birth of my son. He arrived on August 1st, so you guys came a few days after that, but I always know how old he is and how old the Galleria is, because 2025, next year he'll be 26 in 30 years. So he just turned 25 on August 1st. But whereas the Westville Galleria at Roseville has been an invaluable partner in strengthening Roseville's economy, generating substantial sales tax revenue that supports essential services, creates employment opportunities, and contributes to the city's fiscal health. And whereas at the time when many malls across the nation are becoming obsolete, Westville Galleria at Roseville has demonstrated a remarkable adaptability and resiliency, ability to pivot, continually evolving and innovating to meet the needs of the community and remaining a vibrant hub of the commerce And I do mean, we do have a former president of the Roseville Chamber. Your center court is really sort of a town square for our city, and we appreciate you doing that. I think you're up.
Yep, just before my whereas, I had the real distinguishing opportunity to be at the groundbreaking for the Galleria. So I saw it when it was a new baby. It just started to grow. Now my real whereas here. Whereas the Westville Galleria at Roseville has been a cornerstone to our community since its opening August 25th, 2000, growing into a major regional retail and lifestyle destination over the last 25 years, whereas with more than 1.3 million square feet at the Westville Galleria at Roseville is home to over 240 stores and services, including elite brands, diverse eateries, entertainment hubs, and a safe and friendly atmosphere, attracting millions of visitors annually and enhancing Roseville regional retail position. And
Whereas the Westfield Galleria at Roseville and the City of Roseville continue to collaborate on initiatives that improve safety, bolster economic development, and enhance the overall experience for residents and visitors alike. And whereas the City of Roseville recognizes and applauds the significant contributions of Westfield Galleria to our city's economic prosperity, vibrant community life, and regional prominence. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Roseville, California, that Westfield Galleria at Roseville be commended for their 25 years of dedication to excellence, ongoing collaboration, and unwavering commitment to serving our community. So with that, I want to say congratulations, thank you for all that you do for the community. You really enrich us, and this amendment is in, or the proclamation is in here for you to take. And if you, I'll step aside and let you say a few words if you'd like.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Karen, Vice Mayor, and Council. Couldn't have been done without the support and partnership with the City of Roseville and Placer County. Numerous times, especially during the COVID epidemic, the city and the county have come forward to support this economic engine, being the first mall to open after COVID in the year of 2020. Really helped us springboard into where we are now. And it is the partnership with the Roseville Police, the Roseville Fire Department, now the FBI, and the City of Roseville and Placer County that makes one big team drive the success of the Galleria. And we've got very aggressive plans for the future. And with our 12 million visitors a year and 60% of that coming outside Placer County, help bolster our community's finance for the City Council to use. We gladly participate in that and look forward to a very promising future. Thank you guys very much.
Okay, and before I go back up, we have another exciting presentation. I'm going to invite the Moose Lodge members who are here to come up beside me. So you all have had a month full of exciting and fun activities. I know I was really thrilled to be part of the one at the Carnegie, just I think a couple weeks ago. Yeah. But we as a council wanted to also congratulate you and thank you for all that you do for our community. So we're going to kind of go through a proclamation and then give you an opportunity to say a few words also, if you'd like. So let's start with Bruce.
Yeah, 100 years. Wow, I don't have a story for that.
Before your time.
No birthdays, Bruce?
Hey. Whereas the Moose Lodge has been an integral part of the Roseville community for 100 years, and whereas the Moose Fraternity was founded in 1888 in Louisville, Kentucky as a social club for men, and has since evolved into an internal organization of men and women dedicated to caring for young and old, bringing communities closer together. And whereas the Roseville Moose Lodge 1293 was instituted on March 3rd, 1925, 4 years before my dad was born, whereas the Women of the Moose was instituted on February 18th, 1927, 2 years before my dad was born. And whereas since its founding, the Moose Lodge has provided a welcoming place for fellowship, community service, and charitable support. And
whereas the Moose Lodge has contributed significantly to the welfare and betterment of Roseville through its dedication to helping those in need. And whereas the lodge annually holds special events for children, including Christmas with Santa, Easter egg hunts, and Halloween trunk or treat. Whereas thousands of dollars are spent yearly to local nonprofit organizations such as Placer Breast Cancer, Sacramento Blue Star Moms, Gigi's Playhouse, Placer Kids Fishing Derby, and the Roseville Police Activity League, local high schools, and lost but not forgotten. And
Whereas the members of the Moose Lodge have consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to community involvement, volunteerism, and civic responsibility, and whereas the Moose Lodge has fostered a spirit of camaraderie and support among its members and the broader Roseville community for a century, and whereas the 100th anniversary marks a significant milestone recognizing the enduring legacy and positive impact of the Moose Lodge in Roseville. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Roseville, California, that the Roseville Moose Lodge be commended for its 100th anniversary of dedicated service, community involvement, and fostering fellowship, and extended congratulations and best wishes for continued success in serving Roseville for many years to come. So just the work that you do and the philanthropy and the contributions that you make are so significant. So we can't thank you enough for being here in Roseville and spending both time and raising money and doing all the good that you do. So we have put that in a proclamation for you to take, and Art, I will step back and let you say a few words.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen, and the City of Roseville for this. We've worked real hard to do a really nice anniversary thing we did recently at the lodge, where we had our 100th anniversary dinner. The committee people behind me did an excellent job of putting it together. We're doing it for our members. We're at over 1,400 members now. When we started, it was like around 50. So they continue to grow in the city. Most members live in the town of Roseville. So we do a lot of community service with high schools and the organizations that you mentioned earlier. So we're happy to be in Roseville. It's been a great place to live and to have our fraternal organization here in Roseville, and hopefully we're here another 100 years. Thank you very much.
Do you mind going down there? So would you like to, I know it was requested that we have a picture. Would you like us to come down and do a picture with you?
Can we take a photo?
Okay, yes, we can do that.
our other
What
group,
about the
too.
Galleria?
And the
Do they-
Galleria could have a
Yeah, they're
picture
still
too,
here
when
too,
it's your turn.
so we can do that also.
We can go up here.
Oh, perfect, yeah, do you want to stand right in front of you?
Bruce, come on in the middle here.
All right.
You don't want to knock
Hello.
you. Yeah,
Nice
no
to see
problem.
you.
Stand on a chair.
Nice to see you.
Maybe have a little,
Can we have Jamie right here so that the mayor can stand right behind
come on, Jamie.
And
I'm behind you, Jamie. I got your back.
Is that it? Okay. Anybody else? All right, this is it. Ready? All right, smile. You want to do a funny one? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry. Here, stay here.
Moose ears, right?
Jeff, do you want to get
Is
one
that
also?
the official?
Yeah, they'll come up.
Yeah.
You want to hold on to your phone? Okay. You cannot stand in front of me, Jeff.
Definitely in front of Karen.
Yes.
There we go. We're good. Here, come on over.
Nobody wants to see me. Jeff will tell you that.
There we go. Okay, awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we're ready to get started. We're going to open our first public comment. This public comment is for items that are not listed on the agenda. And we have 4, it looks like here. Are there any others that did not turn in a yellow slip? Okay, so we'll just, do you want to call them up?
Sure. We'll start off with Lauren Meeks Harris.
Thank you for just having me here this evening. I thought since you guys came to my meeting earlier on last Tuesday, I would come visit yours. I'm on the Grants Advisory Commission. I'm kind of unofficially doing this just because it was amazing to have almost every council member there. I still don't see Mr. Mendoza, so I'm assuming he's still on vacation. But anyway, just want to say a quick just thank you for having almost literally, not just only the council, but members of the community to be there to accept the grants and also just to be able to be a part of the Grants Advisory Commission. And since we have all these high schoolers in the room, kind of keep a lookout for possibly when we need our students to apply. I would love to see maybe half the room apply at least, so we can get as many applicants that are qualified. But anyway, thank you so much for this time.
Thank you for your comments. And yes, tonight, our Vice Mayor and Councilmember Mendoza are both taking their kids off to college. So I'm sure that they appreciate the comments as well. It's what our Grants Commission, it was fun to be there and see all the good work that's being done and the ways that our city is able to support that good work.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll have Troy Morris.
Thank you. I didn't have very much time. I only found out about 4 o'clock, so I kind of had to prepare quickly. Mine is an environmental statement, and it's living here in Roseville. I'm an avid outdoorsman, and we're blessed to have water from the Sierra Nevada mountains come down. We have Dry Creek, Linda Creek, Kirby Creek, Secret Ravine, and Miners Ravine. So if you go down the trail where it's paved, everything looks beautiful, just like on the city's website. It's paved, it's very nice, it's pristine, it's natural nature as it should be. If you go a couple hundred yards down in either direction, and I've walked countless miles from here to Sierra College Boulevard, all the way down, and I go down the paths. I pick blackberries, I just like to go exploring. I literally go into the water. That gives me a different view and perspective of the amount of trash that is along our banks. So in the last 30 days, I've counted 13 different homeless encampments. And what they're doing now is when Roseville PD kicks them out, and they've done a pretty good job, because every time I've called them, they have actually responded and kicked them out. But within days, they come back. So from my view, what they're doing now is they're digging out the bushes, they're putting their tents inside of there, and then they are covering it with camouflage and netting. So if you're walking by, even if you walk down to the trail, you can't see them. From my perspective, that's the only reason why I found them, is because I go into the bushes, I go into the water where 99% of the people are not willing to go. So it's just very disturbing, the amount of trash that we have here. So I was just looking on for who's responsible for that. I know that we have Roseville Park Maintenance. We have 2 contract commercial landscape management providers, environmental utilities, specifically Stormwater Department, Adopt a Creek program, plus the Dry Creek Conservatory. They've got a couple of upcoming events. October 4th, 18th, November 4th, and 15th is the community events that they're getting people out to help clean up the creek. But looking real quick at the budget, our general fund is $243 million. 17% of that goes to parks, recreation, and libraries. So that's $41 million in budget, excuse me, that I would question, is there any way of pulling funds out of that to have more than just volunteers go every couple of months to go clean up, to have it be a regular thing and follow up? Because, like I said, with Roseville PD, if at the time they kick them out, within a few days, they're back. And I don't know how many other people like myself are down in those areas that are actually reporting it, so I just wasn't aware if you all were aware of really how bad it's very disturbing, actually, from what I've seen. Okay, thank you.
We appreciate your comments.
Vice Mayor, although the Brown Act prohibits us from taking action on this, Jill Geller, our Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Director, will be happy to give you your contact information and talk through that with you.
Thank you. Okay, and we have a
Next,
couple more.
Sure, we have Stephen Alessi. Alessi, I hope I said that correctly. Stephen?
Hi. I'm very nervous right now, so please bear with me. I'm actually a homeless man myself. I'm actually a homeless man who camps, as he's talking about. I'll just, before I go into my thing, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a 47-year-old homeless man from Roseville, California. I've been homeless for 10 years. But I have to say I'm also a believer in Jesus Christ. I never saw it coming. I should have. I grew up in San Jose, California, with my sister who also lives here in Roseville now. My father was a serious alcoholic and drug addict, and he literally raised us to watch him get high. And being a son, I always wanted to be like my father, so I figured it was my purpose in life to be like he was. So that's how I turned out. I moved when I was 24 to Roseville with with my mother's side of the family, and I ended up going to prison for 10 years behind my drug addiction for burglary. I got out in, I paroled in 2013, October of 2013, and I had no skills to live out here. I didn't know what to do. I got back on drugs, and I stayed on drugs for pretty much 30 years. I've been sober now for 6 months. I made a deal with God. I told God, if you take my addiction from me, I'll spend the rest of my life serving you, and I'll try to do things right. So I've been sober since I said that prayer soon after I went to sleep, and I never got high since. Now I go to church. I'm pursuing legal ways of making money. I still can't because I'm homeless. So it's tough to get out and to get on my feet. I just want to give a few ideas of maybe how we could help the homeless here, how I could help my fellow homeless, and just show my gratitude. It's not just God who's helped me; it's been the community of Roseville as well. I know the officer Lopez and the homeless officer has helped me when they come across me. They tell me to move, and they move. I tell them my situation. I'm sober now. I need time to get a job. So what they do is they tell me to move. They give me 48, and I move. I don't go to the same spot. I just move a little farther down. That's probably bad. That's the best I could do. I only have 18 seconds. I think that we need shelters. I go to a church now who they want to start a house to bring homeless people in. Maybe the city can work with them, with some of the other churches who offer a lot of programs. And I just want to thank you guys for all your help. Okay, I'm out of time, so thank you. Sorry, that's it.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments.
Next, we have Ms. Sheila Martin.
Hi there. I'm also, well, I'm not homeless now, but I've been homeless for 19 years. And this last year, I used transitional housing. And if you're familiar, it's AMI. So you go from a traditional housing into your own apartment, and it's only 30% of your rent. It's working. People are getting off the streets. They just bused in another 20 from the TGI to that hotel, so they do have rooms. But the way they're structured, I'm not sure, because that's all their business. But they require a $1,000 deposit, in which AMI pays. So you don't have to come up with the money; you just have to come up with the rent every month. So that's a really good program, I thought. And I just wanted to share that because it's tough being out on the street. You got everything from cockroaches to mice crawling on you in the middle of the night, and then the cops want to come and tell you can't sleep there, even if there's not a sign there. And they're always moving you up and getting you going somewhere else at 2 o'clock in the morning. And people don't have any place to shower, and the public bathrooms close at 10. So if you have to use the restroom, what are you going to do about that? And let's see. A minute and 50 seconds. Well, I think I think you need to take a look at AMI's work and what they do. So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you both for being here and sharing your experiences. Appreciate that. And is there any other public comment? Okay, with that, we're going to close public comment, and we're going to move to consent calendar. So I would like to request the city clerk announce procedures for the consent calendar items 1 to 13.
Vice Mayor. So consent calendar items are considered routine in nature and are approved by one motion of the City Council. An item may be pulled for further discussion by any member of the City Council, staff, or a member of the public. At this time, neither council or staff has made such a request. Is there any member of the public that would like to pull an item for further discussion from consent? Okay, Vice Mayor, seeing none at this time, the City Council will consider consent calendar items 1 through 13. At this time, may I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor with the second. We'll start a roll call with Vice Mayor Albert,
Yes.
Councilmember Haldeshelt,
Yes.
and Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
All items are approved.
Okay, with that, we're going to move to the next part of the agenda, which is our presentations and reports. And it looks like we already have our staff coming up to give us some information about the Placer Valley Soccer Complex and the Universal Playground.
Well, yes, thank you, Vice Mayor Albert and members of the council. I'm Jill Geller, your Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Director. With me tonight are Jeff Nearson, our PRL Recreation Manager, along with Sean Matcham and Bill Chaplin from Roseville Electric. And we're here tonight to talk about a naming rights sponsorship with Roseville Electric for the universally accessible playground at the Placer Valley Soccer Complex. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Jeff to tell you more.
Thanks, Jill. Good evening, Council. We're excited to share information about the sponsorship and seek approval of sponsorship agreement. Additionally, I will provide you with a brief construction and operation update on the complex. I'm sure this slide that shows the layout of the complex is familiar with you. You will recall that the complex name, Placer Valley Soccer Complex, was approved in October as part of our naming rights sponsorship agreement with the Placer Valley Tourism. On this graphic, north is to the left. And as you know, the complex will include 10 lighted synthetic turf rectangle fields, a main pedestrian spine with shade canopies and misting system, a north and south parking lot totaling 950 spaces. This equates to 95 spaces per field, which is at the high end of the recommended parking capacity for this type of complex. 2 plaza areas, known as the Roseville Auto Mall North and the Roseville Auto Mall South plazas, through our naming rights sponsorship with the Auto Mall. The plaza areas include restrooms, shaded picnic areas, concessions, office space, and a tournament headquarters space. A looped walkway in and around the complex that will provide both users of the complex as well as all residents a place to walk, run, bike for exercise. A west side maintenance yard that, in addition to servicing the soccer complex, will increase our efficiencies by providing a maintenance hub for our parks on the west side of town. And a universally accessible play area, which will be a destination playground for the entire community and which is the focus of today's presentation. The main complex is fenced and the fields are available through reservation and rental. The playground and loop trail are located outside the fenced area, making these amenities available to the general public even when the complex is not in use. Construction of the facility is going well, with overall completion anticipated late this year. All of the sports fields are completed, and tenant improvements for the buildings will begin shortly. Work on the west side maintenance yard is underway, and completion of the maintenance yard is expected in early 2026. We're able to open the complex prior to the completion of the maintenance yard. Regarding the playground, installation of the playground safety surfacing is currently underway, marking another visible milestone. The playground will open alongside the rest of the complex. We look forward to welcoming the public for a grand opening event, and this date will be set once the complex completion date is confirmed. From an operations standpoint, we have already secured 2 anchor tenant agreements with a 3rd in progress and an additional dedicated rental confirmed. These agreements are expected to generate more than $850,000 in revenue annually. We have approximately 20 tournament weekends requested, representing an estimated $350,000 in event revenue. And sponsorships will generate another $425,000 in the next year. In total, the facility is projected to generate approximately $1.6 million in year 1. This is in addition to the complex's estimated economic impact of $15 million annually. Our efforts to solicit sponsors for the complex began 2 years ago. In August of 2023, the Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Department publicly promoted sponsorship opportunities for the future soccer complex through print and social media, city websites and newsletters, and the Chamber of Commerce. Sponsorship opportunities included a naming rights sponsor for the soccer complex, the universally accessible playground, plaza sponsors, and individual field sponsors. The call for sponsors was open for 30 days, during which staff received 2 expressions of interest for naming rights of the universally accessible playground. After additional conversations with both groups, one party withdrew their interest, and the Roseville Electric Utility maintained their strong interest in the universally accessible playground naming rights sponsorship. The playground will be the city's largest universally accessible playground at just over 1 acre in size. It will serve children of all abilities and provide elements for children who are hearing impaired or visually impaired. There are sensory amenities for children with autism spectrum disorders and a designated quiet space for those who may need a break from sensory stimulation. Additionally, the playground area includes an adaptive restroom facility that will support needs for all visitors. The playground is surrounded by fencing so that children can play safely and parents can feel secure that their children are in a safe space. This playground will be open to the residents even when the soccer fields are not in use. We are excited to partner with Roseville Electric Utility as the naming rights sponsor for this community amenity. And if the naming rights agreement is approved tonight, we are proud to present to our community the Power Playground. In addition to the playground being named the Power Playground, other sponsorship benefits to Roseville Electric Utility include Roseville Electric branding on the playground entry monument sign, as well as an interpretive sign inside the playground area. Roseville Electric branding on the city website, social media, collateral materials, and promotions for the playground. Roseville Electric use of the facility on select dates. And Roseville Electric will have the right to have a promotional booth at select events at the complex. The term of the agreement is 3 years for a total amount of $75,000. These dollars will help us maintain the playground and allow us to set aside funds for upkeep of the playground. At this time, I'll turn it over to Bill to share more about the sponsorship from Roseville Electric's perspective.
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening, council members. Roseville Electric Utility plays a valuable role in our community and works to remain engaged and connected to our residents and businesses. Strategic partnerships help us accomplish our goals and objectives. Our community benefits from having a public utility, and these benefits need to remain visible. As part of our public benefit effort, we have funds allocated for education, awareness, and promotion of our customer programs and services. This playground sponsorship helps us effectively reach one of our target audiences, Roseville families. Our sponsorship includes a dedicated display at the east end of the playground. The Roseville Energy Park is in direct view of the playground. This is an ideal location to provide education about the REP, dispel any concerns the community may have about the way we generate energy, and help neighbors feel safe. The display will also direct the community to our website where they can find valuable information about our energy efficiency services. Additionally, the visible community solar array demonstrates support for the environment and sustainable energy as we work to achieve California's goals for cleaner energy. Community-owned resources like the REP support local control and the ability to offer more affordable and reliable services. Communicating these value propositions is a needed part of our branding initiative, and we are very excited to sponsor this park. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. We're thrilled to partner with Roseville Electric and help you achieve your goals. Excuse me. Lastly, I want to share with everyone that we still have individual field sponsorships available at the Placer Valley Soccer Complex. Field sponsorships provide 2 large banners along both ends of the sponsor's designated fields, along with some additional benefits. The top photo on this slide is just an example showing what similar field sponsorship signage looks like at another complex. Individual field sponsorships are $6,000 per year per field with a minimum 3-year agreement. Tonight, staff recommends that the council approve the agreement by and between the City of Roseville and Roseville Electric Utility, and authorize the city manager to execute it on behalf of the City of Roseville and the Electric Utility Director to execute it on behalf of Roseville Electric Utility. This concludes our presentation, and we're welcome to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Pauline, do you have any questions?
Maybe not a question, but when you're looking at the pictures that you're showing, you see our energy park. And so this is a real great opportunity for the community to see our energy diversifications and what we have in Roseville. And this is one of the things that actually the state of California wants you to advertise and about your electricity and what's going on, and that's part of actually a good thing we do and also a requirement that we do. And so I think this meets a lot of our needs.
Yeah. Bruce?
Good, thank you. If I might, I think you're on to something, but I'd like to wordsmith something.
Please.
How about if it's, instead of the power playground, it's the power of play playground? Right? We always talk about parks, recreation, right? Was that good? High schoolers like it, so I think we're changing it. But anyway, I just think, because, so high schoolers, if you aren't familiar with a universal playground and you didn't catch it in the presentation, that's for all abilities to be able to get out and breathe fresh air. And this is what Roseville leads in. Roseville Electric for
112 years, I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Over
pretty
100.
much. 112 years, Roseville's had its own. So I was just thinking, the power of play would really kind of, be really neat. So anyway, that's.
Thank you, Bruce. It's fun to see the pictures. I've had the opportunity to come out of my neighborhood. I think it's that south entrance that they're paving right now, and to see it go up over and to know that we're close to completion is really exciting. And I love that we are having a fully accessible park. And I think my comment, whether it's the power of play, which I love that creativity, or Power Park, is just such an empowering name for a park that's designed for people of all abilities. So I think it kind of has that dual purpose, and being by the power plant, to Pauline's points, is just an ideal opportunity. So thank you, Roseville Electric, for seeing that vision, and thank you, staff, for the presentation. I don't have any questions. So at this point, I'm going to open it for public comment. Does anybody else want to comment on the presentation? Any of our high schoolers compelled to get up?
For credit involved.
Say a few words? Okay. Then I will close public comment. And I think there's no other council questions, I assume. I'm going to ask the city clerk to read the motion.
Great, thank you. On item 14, the city council will consider the recommendation to adopt resolution 25273, approving an agreement by and between the city of Roseville and Roseville Electric Utility, and authorizing the city manager to execute on behalf of the Roseville Electric Utility. With that, may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second?
You can second.
I can second.
You did.
I seconded.
Thank
I
you.
did. Thank you.
We
Ruth.
have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Alvord,
Yes.
Councilmember Haudashelt,
Yes.
and Councilmember Cucci.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we're going to move to our next agenda, the fiscal year 2024-25 third quarter report, with a presentation from our finance department.
Oh, yeah. Scott will get lost. All right.
Good evening.
We're going to balance the checkbook now?
It's time. Yeah. Good evening, Vice Mayor Alvord and council members. I'm Scott Pettengill, Finance Director for the city. And this evening, I'll be sharing the third quarter financial update. And this will provide you a picture of where we stand as we close out the books for fiscal year 25. So tonight, my presentation will cover the period from January through March of 2025, and it is outlined in your third quarter report that's attached to this item. And I'll also show our updated year-end forecast for our general fund. I'm going to begin with an overview of our general fund, and then I'll review our major enterprise funds, and then I'll conclude with an update on several of our other more notable funds. So I'll begin with our general fund revenues. This chart shows the percentage of revenue received more on the left-hand side, and then our revenue budget on the right-hand side. Through the third quarter, general fund revenues totaled about $84 million, or about 60% of our $212 million budget. And this pace is consistent with prior years and mainly reflects the timing of some of our major revenue sources. Sales tax revenues shown here reflect taxable sales through January of 2025, with February through June activity to be captured in our fourth quarter report. The outlook for sales tax has improved since our last quarterly report, which I'll touch on a bit more in a moment. Property tax revenues were at 55%, and that's because the second installment of our property taxes is received in our fourth quarter. Other notable revenues include our TOT, or transient occupancy tax, at 66%, or about $4.8 million, and parks, recreation, and library revenues are at 70%. Building-related fees came in stronger than we expected, with permits and plan checks trending about 6% above budget, and engineering inspections trending 23% above budget. And finally, that other revenue category was about 81%, which is consistent with our prior years. So next, focusing on sales tax. Our most recent consultant report shows some improvement compared to our second quarter report, which had projected a potential shortfall. The updated forecast now estimates a surplus of about $820,000, combining both our Bradley Burns as well as our Measure B revenues. We're going to continue to monitor this revenue stream closely throughout our year-end close process, and then receive some final sales tax numbers from our consultant next month. Overall, we've seen sales tax growth flatten over the last couple of years. The main factors are pretty familiar. We've talked about those quite a bit, including higher interest rates, ongoing inflation, people shifting their spending from goods to services and travel, and broader economic uncertainty, including the impact of tariffs. So diving into sales tax in a bit more detail, at the top of this slide, highlighted in brown, is our latest year-end forecast from our sales tax consultant for both Bradley Burns and Measure B. The consultant projects total sales tax revenues will fall somewhere between $99.7 million and $101.1 million, with our most likely outcome at about $100.4 million. Shifting to the bottom portion of the slide, based on that most likely forecast, we're projecting a surplus of about $820,000, as I mentioned before, and that's highlighted by that red arrow there over to the right. In a more optimistic scenario, the surplus could reach $1.5 million, while in a more conservative case, it could be closer to $100,000. I did want to note here that our Bradley Burns and Measure B revenues are based on different tax bases, and because of that, their revenues don't move in the same rates. So moving on, we're not alone in seeing these sales tax trends. Other agencies are experiencing some similar patterns as well. And this graph, which our sales tax consultant provides for us, shows the annualized percent change in sales tax revenue from Q2 of 2022 through Q1 of 2025. Roseville, which is shown in the blue line, is tracking closely with Placer County. And the key difference is the statewide growth remains in negative territory there at the bottom, while Roseville and the county have stabilized in positive territory. For Roseville, sales tax growth has leveled off between Q4 of 24 and Q1 of 25 at about 3%, which is right in line with our historical average, which is represented by that red line in this graph. And this is really welcome news for us, as we've had several quarters of decline, but we're still below some of those exceptional growth rates we experienced back in 2022. This next chart shows Roseville's inflation-adjusted per capita sales tax revenue for the first quarter and over the past 5 years. And it's broken down by categories like general retail, transportation, food products, as well as online sales through our county pool. Sales peaked in 2022 at about $440 per person, and that was driven by that post-pandemic rebound we encountered. And since then, it has declined each year, reaching $383 in 2025 and slightly below 2021 levels. Transportation, general retail, and the county pool remain our largest revenue sources, while stability in food products and business-to-business activity has helped balance out any fluctuations. And although spending has slowed since 2022, our sales tax base does remain well diversified, which provides some important stability as we move forward. So now I'll move on to our property tax, and that's our general fund's second largest revenue stream. And based on our latest information from the county, we are expecting property tax revenues to still exceed our initial estimate by 1.3 million, reaching 76.4 million compared to the original 75.1 million forecast we included in the budget. And this increase is driven both by continued development as well as rising property tax values in the area. And you notice in this graph, the revenue appears low compared to time of year elapsed in the fiscal year. And that's because property tax collections occur mainly in the third and fourth quarters of the year, which is consistent with prior years. So now I'll move on to general fund expenditures. Overall, they are tracking below budget at 71%, and that's consistent with the same level of spending as the third quarter over the past 3 years. The slightly higher spending rate in economic development reflects the timing of reimbursements to the general fund related to the housing division from the Housing Authority, Housing Choice Voucher Program, as well as CDBG funds. But those reimbursements have since been processed, and the department is expected to finish the year under budget. Expenditures within each department remain within budget, and while a few departments may finish slightly above their appropriation, these variances are expected to be fully offset by savings elsewhere in our general fund. Finally, the overall spending rate at 71%, which you'll see on the bottom of the slide, compared to the 75% of the fiscal year elapsed, is primarily the result of position-related vacancy savings, as well as savings in material service supply categories across most of our general fund departments. So next, I'm going to turn to our general fund year-end forecast. We've prepared this high-level chart to summarize our current forecast. And as I mentioned earlier, our sales tax revenue estimates have improved, and we're showing here a range of $100,000 to $1.5 million, as I mentioned earlier. And that's reflecting both our consultants' pessimistic as well as optimistic scenarios. Property tax revenue are also projected to exceed expectations, and we anticipate an additional $1.3 million in that category. In addition, we're expecting up to $6 million in departmental expenditure savings, as well as surpluses in some other revenue categories. And taken together, we project to end the year between $1.4 million and $8.8 million. And given this favorable outlook, we'll move forward with that $6.4 million in additional discretionary payments or ADPs to CalPERS that we had been holding off on because of the forecasted revenue shortfall. So now I'm going to turn to the enterprise fund revenues. And this slide compares budget to revenues we've received as of the third quarter. For the electric utility, revenues were at 70% through the third quarter, but we're projecting them to finish about $9.8 million above budget. And that's mainly due to higher consumer usage during warmer weather and stronger wholesale revenue. Water revenues are at 73%, and that's expected to end just above budget, supported by higher consumption as well as new development. Wastewater revenues are tracking lower because of timing, but are expected to meet budget by year end. Waste services is at 75% and projected to slightly exceed revenue estimates driven by customer growth and higher hauler fees. And transit and transportation revenues appear low at this point of the year, but that's due to timing of their funding recognition. And by year end, we forecast those revenues will align with their estimates. And finally, youth development, their revenues are at 58% and will end the year below target as we expected. As mentioned in prior updates, that shortfall will be covered by general fund support, and staff plan to bring forward a recommendation to address that shortfall after the year-end results are finalized. So now I'll turn to the enterprise fund expenditures. Overall spending is below budget across all the funds, and each fund is forecasted to finish the year under budget. For our electric utility, expenditures were at 66% through the third quarter and are projected to finish about $8.2 million under budget. And that's mainly because of some deferred turbine maintenance, lower than anticipated plant maintenance, and some chemical costs, as well as savings in programs, contracts, and staffing. Our water utility spending is at 61% with savings from vacancies, lower material and supply costs, as well as water purchases below estimates. Wastewater is at 67% with savings from vacancies, energy efficiency improvements, as well as lower than anticipated utility costs. Waste services is at 65% with savings for vacancies, reduced fuel costs from renewable natural gas, as well as lower professional services spending. Transit was at 62%, and that's mainly due to the timing of shelter replacements and some new route implementations. And transportation is at 67%, reflecting timing associated planned professional services, printing and maintenance costs that will occur in the last quarter. And finally, youth development, they were at 67% as we continue to implement cost-saving measures to offset that Adventure Club revenue shortfall that I previously mentioned. So now I'll move on to those other notable funds. This table shows revenues in the fire facilities, public facilities, as well as our strategic improvement funds. Revenue estimates for these funds are based on a multi-year trend so that we look at every year and take into account single-family, multifamily, as well as commercial development, as well as some prior year collections. As of March, revenues in public facility fund are at 80% of budget, and strategic improvement fund is at 79%. The strategic improvement fund budget this year also includes a one-time transfer of $1.75 million from the general fund surplus to support future economic development projects. And then our fire facilities fund is a little lower at 70%, but overall we do anticipate all funds to end the year actually above targets. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Pauline, do you have any questions?
No, thank you. Good report.
Bruce?
That's good.
Okay, no questions for me. Very thorough, good news. Looks like a good news report, so thank you. With that,
Public comment.
oh, public comment, thank you. I was doing it so perfect. Any public comment on this item?
Just a general question is, where can the public find this information? I know I'm supposed to direct my comments to council. So if somebody could just say in general, because I get asked quite a bit from people when you guys make presentations like this, so thank you.
Yes. So the report is attached to the agenda item, but also we include all of our financial reports on our financial transparency page, which you can find on the internet through our finance department.
Great question, thank you. I'm sure that you're not the only one that might be asking that. Okay, any other public comment? With that, we'll close public comment. We're going to move to item 16, an open public hearing. And there are staff. Are you doing that presentation also? Okay.
Yes, I am.
So you're up next.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Alvord and council members. Scott Pettin again, Finance Director for the city. And tonight we're holding a public hearing and recommending approval of the formation of Creekview Phase 5 Community Facilities District Number 1. For background, the purpose of establishing a community facilities district is to create a land-secured financing tool that can be used to fund the acquisition and construction of authorized public facilities. For background, on July 16th of 2025, the council adopted Resolution 25236, and that resolution of intention to form the Creekview Phase 5 CFD District Number 1. This resolution authorized the city to move forward with forming the district, levying a special tax, and using those funds to finance public facilities as well as services. Next slide here. Thanks. The project area for this district covers about 58 acres. At full build-out, it will include 285 low-density residential units. And I wanted to note here that there are no future annexations planned for the district, and the boundaries are set as is. This district will fund a wide range of public facilities, and this includes transportation improvements such as work on Westbrook, West Park, and Blue Oaks Boulevard. It also covers water system improvements, both potable and non-potable, along with drainage and wastewater system upgrades. Solid waste improvements are included, as well as along with park and open space enhancements. And finally, the district will support necessary utility improvements. In addition to building facilities, the district is also authorized to provide services, and this includes maintenance and operations related to the facilities funded by the CFD, as long as they have useful life of 5 years or more. And this district can also create and fund a reserve to cover the future replacement of those facilities. The CFD is located within the Creekview Specific Plan, which is on the northwestern side of the city and is highlighted in purple pink. I think that color would be up on the top left-hand corner. And this map shows the CFD boundary outlined in the bolded area within the Creekview Specific Plan. And as I mentioned earlier, there are no future annexations planned for this district. And what you see here is the full and final boundary. And just for orientation, at the bottom of the map is the corner of Blue Oaks and Westbrook. Our recommendation this evening includes 3 actions. First, holding the public hearing. Second, reading the election results. And then finally, approving the resolution of formation, along with related documents for Creekview Phase 5, Community Facilities District Number 1, which covers public facilities. And that concludes my presentation, and available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Bruce, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay.
I just had, when you mentioned how many affordable housing you have, how much housing do you have in the plan, or about?
Yeah, I have that in here. 285 low-density residential units.
But what do you think the total might be? If those, is that all the houses that's going to be in there?
Councilmember
Okay.
Ricucci, are you talking about all of Creekview?
Yeah.
It's a couple thousand units in all.
Okay, that's what I wanted to compare with the 200. Okay, thank you. Both of you, thank you.
Okay, I have no questions. So with that, I'm going to ask the city clerk to read the ballot results.
Public comment?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Want to read the ballot first? Yeah. So there were 58 eligible voters, and there were 58 yes votes and 0 no votes. Therefore, the CFD 1 did get approved by the voters, and that's the results.
Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to open it up to public comment on this item. Do we have anyone that would like to come forward? Okay, with that, we'll close public comment.
Close public hearing.
And we're going to close the public hearing. And I will ask the city clerk to read the motion.
Okay, thank you. On item number 16, the City Council will consider the recommendation to adopt Resolution 25-277 to form Creekview Phase 5 Community Facilities District Number 1, recognized as public facilities, and adopt Resolution number 25-278, determining necessary to incur bonded indebtedness of the City Council of the City of Roseville for the Creekview Phase 5 Community Facility District Number 1, public facilities, and adopt Resolution number 25-279, calling a special election of the City Council of the City of Roseville regarding Creekview Phase 5 Community Facility District Number 1, public facilities, and adopt Resolution number 25-280, declaring results of the special election and directing recording of notice of the special tax lien regarding the Creekview Phase 5 Community Facility District Number 1, public facilities, and introduce for a first reading an ordinance levying special taxes within the City of Roseville for Creekview Phase 5 Community Facility District Number 1 for public facilities. With that, may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor. With the second, we'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Alvord,
Yes.
Councilmember Haudashelt.
Yes.
And Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So we will move to our final public comments. So I'm going to open our second public comment. And does anybody would like to come forward with items that are not on the agenda? Okay, not seeing any. I'm going to close our second public comment and invite our council members to report on any committee activity.
No further reports.
Oh, ask them.
Oh, do you have anything?
No further reports.
Okay,
Have nothing, thank you.
okay. Nothing from the city manager or from the city attorney. Colleen?
Just a couple of things. My regular meetings, I have a couple electric meetings, but that won't occur until next week. But a couple of things that I was able to do within the community is go to Girls State and Boys State reporting for American Legion Auxiliary 169. So that was held in Royer Park at Veterans Hall. And it was, these young seniors were picked and chosen from their schools to attend in Sacramento for about a week. And they essentially made their own city up, and whether it was the state or the federal government or county, and then told what it was like to be in those positions. And they thought that they were just going to go and someone was going to tell them, you know, hey, you guys are going to go over here and you're going to do this. They said, no, you're going to do it. And when they came back from this program, they just felt that they really learned a lot and had a greater understanding of what happens in your city, in your community. And some said they took positions. They were a judge. Some were a firefighter. Some were different people in the community and how they work together. And it was really interesting to see what an effect this had on the students. And I see these young people as future leaders in whatever they do. That was really interesting. I did that, and also I was invited to an anniversary, a 20-year anniversary of Indian Association. It was actually of Sacramento, and they held it at William Jessup, and so it was a real eye-opener to see Indian dancing and music and their folklore dancing, and each of the entities, and it had a large crowd of people, but each group, the Indian Association put it on, but many other associations that are from our India had their own groups, and they actually marched around in the auditorium, and it was really remarkable to see how much fun they were having, and got a taste and smell of foods and music and the culture of the people, and also how many of them are working on many of our commissions and really taking a part in their community. So it was nice to be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce?
Yeah, as Commissioner Lori Meeks, help me, my brain's broken. Anyway, Vice Mayor Alvord, Mayor Brusconi, City Council Member Rakucci, and I attended the Grants Advisory Commission meeting last week, where there was check presentations done, and it's always a highlight of the year to see this community and how much it gives and how much the groups that receive the money make a difference in the community. So did that. And then my Western Placer Waste Management Authority board meeting on the 14th was canceled. And then tomorrow we have SACOG Board of Directors. And the last thing I'll say is I had the opportunity to travel. And for all of you out there, you high schoolers, if you have the power, if you have the ability to travel, I'd encourage you to do that, whether it's in the United States or my wife and I went to Ireland, England, and Scotland. And it really just gives you a perspective. A broader perspective on so many things, both socially, culturally, and how fortunate we are. For instance, when we arrived in Dublin, as we were going from the airport to our hotel, the cab driver told us about something they have there, which I actually heard one of our planning commissioners refer to, and it's called Tidy Towns in Ireland, where each town takes pride in the appearance, and they go out and there's a national competition for beautification. And I know our planning commissioner, Sean Pryor, who's from Ireland, had mentioned that a few years ago, but the power of travel is transformative. So.
Thank you. Well, we're glad you're back.
Yeah.
It's a nice trip. And I see that Jill and Jeff are still here. I had the honor of going with our Parks and Rec team on Saturday as we dedicated 3 of our dog parks. I think it was Dog Days of Summer. Yeah. Did I have that right? And I have to say, it was kind of a tour of the 3 parks, and it was nice to have our officers, many of our K-9 former and current, went along with us. And I just think listening to the stories of these canine officers and their officer handlers was very inspiring, just to see the value that we get in our community and the courage that, that this team does to help keep us all safe. And so that was fun. And then I was with Pauline also at the Girls State and Girls and Boys State, and it was pretty inspiring. We have high school students in here. I'd look at that program if you have the opportunity. I think each high school in Placer has one representative each summer, and great opportunity to learn about local and state government and how it runs. So I would highly encourage that program. And then I would just, in closing, say that we have our State of the City next Wednesday. So our mayor will be here at Denio's at 9 a.m. And, encourage the community to come out and learn a little bit more about all the exciting things happening in our city and the status of some of the things going around the city. And with that, I will close the meeting.
Next meeting.
Next meeting is September 3rd. And I know we have our high schoolers will be up here. If you need signatures or want any pictures or anything, feel free to come on up.
I'll take you guys.
Good job.